The night air was heavy with silence, broken only by the faint hum of passing cars far below the old city bridge. The moon cast a pale silver glow across the water, and the faint rippling waves mirrored the loneliness of the world above. David, a single father in his mid-30s, was walking home after finishing another exhausting late-night shift at the small diner where he worked. His shoes were worn thin, his shirt clung to him with the scent of sweat and dish soap, and his hands ached from hours of lifting trays and cleaning. But what weighed heaviest wasn't the physical fatigue. It was the endless worry of how he would provide for his 6-year-old daughter, Lily. Rent was overdue. The fridge held little more than milk and a half-empty jar of peanut butter, and every day felt like a battle he was slowly losing. Yet, despite the crushing weight of poverty and loneliness, he carried on because Lily's smile gave him reason to keep breathing. As he trudged across the bridge that night, David noticed a slim figure standing unnervingly close to the edge. The girl, perhaps in her 20s, clutched the railing with trembling hands. Her long dark hair swayed in the cold wind, and her pale face was streaked with tears that glistened in the moonlight. David slowed, his tired eyes narrowing. Something inside him stirred, a recognition of pain, an echo of his own despair. "Hey," he called softly, his voice hesitant but steady. She didn't move. He took another step closer. "Don't do this," he said, his tone firmer now. "Whatever it is, it's not worth ending everything." The girl's breath came in ragged gasps. "You don't understand," she whispered. "No one does. I can't carry this anymore." David's chest tightened. He knew that feeling too well, the suffocating weight of hopelessness. He walked closer, careful not to startle her, until he was only a few feet away. "I may not know your story," he said quietly, "but I know what it's like to feel like the world is too heavy to bear. I'm just a struggling dad trying to hold things together for my little girl. And some nights I want to give up too. But then I remember she needs me. Maybe someone out there needs you too." Her grip on the railing wavered. Tears streamed down her cheeks as she shook her head. "I don't have anyone," she murmured. "Everyone I thought cared about me, they only cared about my money, my name. And now, I'm so tired of being used." David's eyes softened with compassion. He extended his hand toward her. "You don't need to be strong alone. Let me help you. Just take my hand. Please." For a moment, the night held its breath. The girl's knees buckled, and she swayed dangerously toward the drop. Without thinking, David lunged forward, grabbing her arm and pulling her into his chest. She collapsed against him, sobbing uncontrollably, her body trembling with fear and relief. David held her, his hand gently resting on the back of her head. "You're safe now," he whispered. "I've got you. You're not alone." Minutes passed before she finally pulled back, her face streaked with tears, but her eyes calmer, searching his. Why would you care?" she asked brokenly. "You don't even know me." He gave a small, tired smile. "Because I know what it feels like to need someone to care. And because one day, if it were my daughter standing here, I'd pray that someone would do the same for her." Her chest hitched as she tried to breathe through her tears. Something in his words cracked the wall she had built around herself. That night, David didn't let her walk away alone. He guided her gently off the bridge and walked with her to a nearby bench. They sat for hours, talking under the quiet sky. She slowly revealed the truth. Her name was Isabella. She was not just another young woman, but the heiress of one of the country's largest business empires. To the world, she was a billionaire with everything. But inside, she was empty, abandoned by love, trapped by greed, and starved for genuine kindness. For the first time in years, Isabella felt seen, not for her wealth, not for her status, but for her broken humanity. And David, with his weary eyes and honest heart, was the first person who hadn't asked for anything in return. Weeks turned into months. Isabella stayed in touch, sometimes meeting David and Lily at the small playground near their apartment. She watched as he pushed his daughter on the swing, his face lighting up despite his exhaustion. She saw the love and sacrifice that defined him, the quiet heroism of a man who gave everything without ever expecting anything back. And in turn, David saw Isabella begin to heal. She laughed more often, her eyes brighter, her voice steadier. For once, she was living without the mask of wealth, just a young woman learning how to breathe again. One evening, after dinner at David's modest kitchen table, Isabella looked at him across the flickering candlelight of a dollar store candle. "You saved me that night," she whispered. "Not just from the bridge, but from myself. I don't know how to repay you." David shook his head. "You don't owe me anything. I just didn't want the world to lose you." But Isabella wasn't convinced. Quietly, without telling him, she began helping from the shadows, paying off his debts, making sure his landlord stopped threatening eviction, and arranging opportunities that slowly lifted the crushing weight from his shoulders. When David eventually found out, he was overwhelmed. At first, his pride resisted, but when Isabella told him, with tears in her eyes, that she wanted to do it not as a billionaire, but as someone who finally found a family she never had, his resistance melted. In saving her that night on the bridge, David had unknowingly saved himself too. And together, in their brokenness, they built something whole, an unlikely bond that wasn't born from wealth or desperation, but from kindness, compassion, and the simple courage of one struggling father who couldn't walk past a soul in pain. And as Lily wrapped her little arms around Isabella one evening, calling her mommy for the first time, Isabella's tears returned. This time not from despair, but from gratitude. Because love, real love, had finally found her on the very night she had almost lost it all.